Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Thanks for everybody that listens and checks us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our shows to watch what we're doing. Don't forget every Friday 1 p or 7 p.m. Pacific time we have the Friday Fix. The last episode was fire. Yeah, bands and bands. Don't forget to catch us 1 p.m. every Sunday Pacific time. Our live town hall. Everybody can join in, join the discussion. Sir, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I just want everybody to make sure y'all check us out Fridays, like you said, and Sundays as well. You know what I mean? For the town hall, 1 p.m. Pacific time. You know what I mean? I'm doing good today, man. I won't say the world's been doing great, but we finally gotten some clarification from your boy Donald Trump about potential things that are going on. But at the same time, I want you to start with the drones that's been flying around here, man. Everybody's been talking about these drones. I've been hearing about. I mean, you spoke to me about it days ago, telling me we should have reported about this days ago.
Yeah.
And because of my, because of my lacking on this one, we're behind it. We're kind of behind on the story that we were ahead on.
Yeah. So it says, basically it says White House sees no evidence of threat from the drones and say many sightings were manned aircrafts. The White House is knocking down claims that the New Jersey airspace has been invaded by drones controlled by hostile nations, and say many of the aircraft sightings have been cited to support such assertions are actually normal piloted airplanes. In recent days, residents of the Garden State have been posting videos of what they describe as sightings of unmanned aircraft over the area where the U.S. Army has research facilities, as well as President-elect Donald Trump's Bedminster, New Jersey Golf Club. One Republican Congressman, Representative Jeff Van Drew, claimed Wednesday during a House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee hearing that the aircraft in question were Iranian in origin and were being controlled by a mothership operated by Tehran off the U.S. coast. I've learned for real that there's circumstantial evidence that there's Iranian motherships off the east coast of the United States, and that's launching these drones incursions, he said. The Pentagon has denied Van Drew's assertions were in any way grounded in fact, with Defense Department Press Secretary Sabrina Singh telling ABC News that there was not any truth to what he'd alleged. So, I mean, they're still being kind of like standoffish about it. They're not saying what the drones are. That's one thing they're not doing. They're not telling anybody, hey, this is an American thing. This is a company, nothing. They're just saying, don't worry about it.
I mean, you got to look at it like this. They're saying that these are manned drones, and these things are as big as SUVs.
Yeah.
And they're manned. And you can't they're flying under the radar, but you can't figure out how to send another drone to follow it home.
Well, if you think about it, they'd have to have a drone, but I mean, you can't even scramble aircraft after it, because by the time you scramble the aircraft, the drone could just land somewhere and then it's out of sight. So, I mean, we're coming into the future where it's going to be drone warfare. You don't need pilots anymore. I mean, you can still use them, but the pilot's going to be sitting somewhere doing it. But for them not to tell anybody what it is, it's not showing. It's either showing our government's incompetent, or they know what it is and they don't want to cause panic against the general public. Like, hey, we have to be in these areas because we have a threat of an attack.
Yeah, either of those two things, like you said, could be true. It just seems like with this subject that's going on right now, they're not willing to give any information. It's because I almost feel like maybe they don't have the information. You know what I mean? Now they're starting to see them over New York as well. Like you said, I think you even said they saw them in Florida.
Yeah, there were some in Florida. Somebody was trying to say there's a couple of flying around in Tacoma. I don't know if that's
going to be everywhere now. I mean, pretty much everybody's going to see them everywhere now. And like they said, I was watching, I think the Breakfast Club clip and stuff. And Charlemagne the guy was like, oh yeah, the point of it is these are SUV sized
drones. Yeah,
drones
that's huge.
Being manned. People are manning these, and you guys aren't concerned that these things are just flying around anywhere and everywhere. You could pretty much pack that thing with a little bit of, some explosive, whatever you wanted to, and
hit a building.
Crash it wherever. Yeah, anywhere
you didn't even got to do that. You could be in it and drop bombs on people.
If you chose to. You know, and they're acting
why blow up my $1 million drone when I can blow up your $50,000 home?
And at the same time, they're flying over military bases as well.
Yeah.
And so this is the same ones that were going on. I think there was in Virginia. Was that when Virginia we reported on? I can't really remember. We reported on some drones flying over
Yes, yes.
some bases. Like
I think I
that's
was,
not too
yeah.
far. That's not
Yeah.
like that's probably a couple hundred miles top end. I'm trying to tell you, like Virginia and New Jersey is not very far, are not very far away from each other. If they're even a couple hundred miles,
Yeah.
That's kind of how close everything is. Once you get in the Northeast, it's pretty much 400 miles. You can go from Virginia probably to damn near up to Vermont or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
give or take. But it's just ridiculous. But so for these people not to know what's going on when you have our military installations in jeopardy, civilians in jeopardy, civilian workplaces, civilian hotspots in jeopardy. I mean, to me, it just seems like this administration's on its way out the door and they're not giving enough information on what's going on. I hope someone said, one of my friends was talking about some type of a program that I hope this isn't some blue something or some program he has said that he thinks that this might be some covert government program what they're doing.
It could be. I think what they're doing is it's patrols. Either it's a private company that's testing out flying. If it's the size of an SUV, there's probably people in it, and they're testing out, flying aircraft that are going to be the future. Basically, like your car is going to turn into a drone, a flying drone, and it can take off and take you places instead of you having to drive on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or they're protecting that
So
kind
why
of
would they have to
coastline
not say anything about it?
because you don't want to give people panic.
No, what I'm saying is like, okay, if they're testing a pilot program for something like where you're driving, they would tell people about that because that would be something that you'll want people to know about.
Not right away.
These are
Not
big
right
ass
away.
drones, bro. Like
You want
that's
to
a
have you
big
want to have the
drone.
research first because you don't want to be like, hey, we're testing out these flying cars, and then one falls down and crashes, and then nobody wants to buy one anymore.
Well, I would think that would be they would leave that up to public. I mean, the private, you know what I mean, the private companies to do the testing for that, and then they would have to tell them not to fly them over airspace that have people in them. You know what I mean? You're not gonna take that shit out to the desert somewhere. Take that shit to some remote area where it doesn't matter if it crashes or not in this area because
Well, I mean,
no
you're
people
better
around.
off flying it over.
You're gonna fly it in one of the most highly densely
Yeah.
populated places. Why? Why would you fly it over the most highly? I mean, to test it. I mean,
Yeah.
test it though, bro. I'm not saying it's a bad idea what you're saying.
I mean, they probably
dumb
tested
of them
it
to
in the
do that.
desert, but then you got to test it over homes. But for them not to give us information, it just makes it worse.
It could be, like you say, this could be UFO, but I think they said most of them were drones. And for
Yeah.
them to be so low and be easily recorded like this, it's a little, I mean, it kind of, it doesn't give the UFO kind of, or the, whatever they call it, what they call UAP or whatever.
UAP, yeah.
It doesn't give that vibe to me. And it gives more of a vibe to me of these are individuals doing this. And I think that, the government to have been so behind the ball, like you were talking about this before I even heard about a lot of it. I mean, just in the news like it is right now.
Well, it had been in the
over.
news since November. They kept making articles about it, and I was like, I kind of ignored it. I'm like, yeah, because we reported on it the ones.
Yeah.
But then they're like, yo, more sightings, and I was like, bro, yeah, we got to report on this because this is it's ludicrous. Usually the story like this goes away.
It goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah, but this one's sticking around.
More and more of them in the sky. I mean, I'd never the footage. We have a short. If you guys get an opportunity, go check out our short that DMAC did, and it's a very, very well put together short. If you go ahead and you watch all the drones flying, you see how many that there really are. It's a lot of them. It ain't just a few. And one of them's flying so slow that they could have scrambled aircraft after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying I was looking at that one. I was like, that's going so that must be the key, the main one. Because it's monitoring all the rest of them.
Scramble something after him, man. Go outside. You guys can sit on dope houses for 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? You can't sit outside and just wait till these motherfuckers go up in the air and then send your drone after them. Come on, bro. Listen, they're buying motherfucking trucks to look, that they're crashing the buildings and that they're basically raiding. Remember they raided the buildings, the college kids, and they sent that one big ass vehicle that had like the ladder on top of it where the policeman can climb into. Y'all buying all this shit. You guys don't have good enough drones to go.
No, because they're not ready. The thing about like America is so far behind. Like, when Obama was president, he was like, look, we don't need that many troops. He was like, we don't need all this old school stuff. He's like, the art of warfare has changed in the world.
I remember that.
And then Donald Trump came in and he was like, now we're going to go back to the old school and do it the way we were doing. So who knows how far they are behind the research. But, it shows you, like, if China, they have those drone displays where they have thousands of drones in the sky doing, like, dragons and shit.
Yeah.
Imagine you have 1,000 drones come with C4 on them. How many can you shoot down?
They're doing that right now in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They're doing that right now in Ukraine. They're sending big, huge drone swarms in Ukraine. They say that Iran is one of the they make one of the they have the largest like drone manufacturing plants in the world over in Iran. Who knows if Israel's knocked them out by now, but we have some of the best drones in the world. We're selling our drones all over the place, so we
Yeah.
have good drones. We have quality drones that are. I mean, I would say our government probably has some of the most high quality drones that I know about, and I don't know. I'm not saying I'm an expert on that shit, but I mean, I would say we do. So we should have the type of drones that can go catch these SUV sized drones. We should have a problem doing that.
I saw this one drone. The guy put that up, and it went 0 to what was it, like 70 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It was just, it lifted it up,
Oh,
and I'm like, just imagine when you make that full size and you put
yeah.
somebody in there and put guns on it, because you can't. The only thing that's
That's a
stopping these
weapon.
drones right now for putting, because the bullets are so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Once you figure out a different way to fire things off of that, like lasers or whatever, it's a wrap.
Or even just a singular, even just a really good guided missile.
Yeah.
One good guided missile, maybe one or two guided missiles off of there. They don't have to weigh as much. That can just hit like small installations or just small things of importance.
Well, the drone has
Buildings
to also be able to defend itself
fuck
in the
it. Why?
sky.
Why does it have to defend
Well,
itself?
because I mean,
If it's fast enough and you can send other drones to help defend it, fuck it. That one drone, or your job's to carry the bomb. The rest of the drone swarm is pretty much defense. Whether they're running like you can blow. They only cost some. They're making drones in Ukraine. They're like $1,000, man. $1,000 drone. They just sitting. That's the ones we watch chasing people around.
Oh, chased the guy around the tank and blew him up.
And so
Homeboy
I'm
gave
like,
up.
man.
He was like, fuck it. He ran around that tank 3 times. It was like, I ain't got no more. He just stood there like, boom.
And so I'm assuming whatever they're doing in China, they're probably making those drones pretty cheaply as well. And so we should be doing something like that. Make a fucking drone swarm that flies at night, and we can catch this shit that's going on. This doesn't make any sense that we're not doing it. I just feel like they either know what's going on and just want to leave it as just doing this to kind of scare the public and kind of cause kind of like worry, like, oh, this could happen to us, so let's do this now.
Well, I mean,
Let's
the way our news cycle goes, they can just kind of put it off for as long as they want to, because something big will happen in between, and we'll stop caring about the story.
Yep. It ain't gonna matter pretty soon. I mean,
Think about it. It was happening before. Then Luigi shot the CEO. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z got hit with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? There's always something. There's always, and especially Donald Trump's coming in. They don't care. They know it's gonna be some BS every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Absolutely, man.